because black people were brought here, right? And white people know that, and black people are angry about that because they're here.
That happened like 400 years ago. Okay.
Exactly.
But it's only been 50
keep
years.
saying that, and white people keep
Like it's gonna
saying
go away overnight. like all those all those whips and shit is all gonna go over overnight.
You never experienced any of this. It's all dead.
But I have to live with the people who did.
No, you don't.
And who were raised by those type of people.
The institutions that created that are still in play, right?
What are you talking about? Give me an example.
Look at pull up any of older laws that are still on the books. Fucking drug laws for a perfect example. Fucking look, I'm sure you've read all about drug laws and how all that came in to play with the hippies and shit, and it was for hippies and black people, but to criminalize black people mostly, right? Because what was going on at that time? Civil rights. Like, just look at the history.
Yeah, back then.
Actually take a time and pay attention to why Confederate statues are actually put up, right? That was all because of racism. It had nothing to do with honoring the Confederate soldiers. Because those statues only went up in periods of time of high black thrivingness or whatever, when they were trying to become their own or whatever.
I don't buy it. All this shit happened a while ago. Trey's fine. Stop
There's literally people still living today who went to segregated high schools.
Like, how does that affect you on a day-to-day level?
Because it's from the family, right? The family, you got to think of it like this. Take two families. Don't even do their color or whatever, right? You get one family and you put them in abject poverty, right? And then you make it so hard for them to get ahead that they can't, right? They just literally can't, right? And this other family, they don't have those same restrictions, right? They're free to go to any college they want to, they're free to do all this, right? And start this at 1800, right? 1800. So now fast forward to modern day, you take that same family and you look at each family and how they've progressed. They might, and let's just say, for instance, both of those people are at the exact same place at life. You'll look at the history of the family. That the one person that had the family who had all those restrictions put on them, they had to move mountains to get where you are today, where you didn't do anything.
So then they expect this out of you.
Can I make a counter argument? Alright, my counter argument is that there have been. Whoa, it doesn't matter. Okay, what I said just absolutely gospel. There's
there's no argument to that because that's how it happened.
No, generational wealth is not that big of a deal. There's been a lot of studies on this where it goes away really quickly.
Well, it's not about that. It's about the opportunity to have that. Black people haven't had the same opportunities until about 50 years ago.
Go clean
the gutter. Entirely within
thing.
Trey's lifetime, he has had a lot of opportunities.
But that's the thing. A lot of opportunities. He could have had more if he was white, because you know how many job interviews he's had to go to where they immediately wrote him off because he was black?
I really don't think that's really happening on a grand scale.
That happens on the grand scale.
Wait.
Look at these racist judges. Look at these.
It's a little better.
You're telling me Trump got elected based on anything other than just racist white people?
How many people do you think are rejecting Trey from job interviews solely based on his skin color?
North, it's not like a, you know what I mean? It's not like a thing. Like it's.
You really think this is
progressive.
happening?
It is happening.
Okay, I'm saying how many? Like what percent of these people doing the interviews?
I would say 30%.
Okay. And can you show me any statistics at all, like showing?
Yeah, because it's a visible hand that white people, are still reigning supreme.
Yeah, 30% of the country still support Trump.
Okay, so you think people only voted Trump because of racism?
I'm not saying people only voted Trump because of racism.
Don't you think that
his majority of his base?
Don't you think that we have 50% Democrat-Republican split almost every single election, and it's usually the same demographics that are voting along the same party lines every single election?
Yeah, but if you look at every single election, percentages don't mean jack shit when it comes to the actual number, right? Yeah, it's about a 50-50 split every time. But look at this election. Say election X, there was 9 million voters total, and election Y, there was only 4 million voters total, right? Yeah, sure, there's going to be a 50% split, but that. Now,
you might cut out.
Oh, I think.
I'm just saying, like. I mean, I don't.
All I'm saying is, like,
you can argue all you want. There's just no point in me arguing how the world works.
Oh yeah, there's no point. Okay.
White people just don't get it. White people just don't get it.
Yeah, I think you're one of the people who just doesn't get it.
No, you are one of the people who don't.
Yeah, I know, but like that's what I could say the exact same thing to you. Like I don't really think there's much of blame.
That's what I'm saying. That's why there's no point. There's no point in arguing it, right?
I know, but you're perpetuating this. You're perpetuating this.
You both are. Listen,
I mean, I'll gladly argue with you all day long, but you're never going to get it.
No, I don't think you will get it, because I honestly have done a ton of research into this matter, and I think you're mostly just... Where
did that research come from? White authors who went to white schools, who were taught by white people, who were raised by white people? There's two different worlds, and you don't have any idea how the other one works.
What are you talking about?
The white world and the fucking.
So like, there's like these windows that people that people look at you like for a split second you catch a certain stare from somebody, like and shit like that. It's like the paranoia of like, is this nigga okay, or is this nigga like he got a problem with me? Like it's not always looking over your back type shit. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I just don't really buy that.
And that's why it'll never get better, because there's a ton of people like you.
Okay, let me give you an example.
Don't believe racism exists anymore.
No. Because
they thought 50 years, just cured 400 years. Like
no. Because so many other races were discriminated against, but every other race recovered.
Because we went to war with them. There's no war against black people. It's a perpetual war. Like, oh, we bombed the shit out of the Japs. So
the thing, right?
Yeah,
black people in
we'll suck your
America
dick.
have no country. There is no country for black people in America, because the United States does not support anything for black people, right?
We have affirmative action. Are you kidding me?
Affirmative action has done more harm than good.
Oh,
right?
Really? Giving black people opportunities to go to college for free and having them require lower test scores to get in. Like, are you kidding me? How does that not help?
Because that
have you not seen all the diversity initiatives across the country? Oh, ha.
Lowering the test grades to
Everyone wants a fucking black guy in their company because of a diversity. Are you kidding me?
They need one black guy versus how many other white guys are there?
No, are you kidding me? If you I'm
saying that there are advantages. No, I'm saying there are advantages. I'm just saying they are.
Trust me, because
there's a huge competition to that.
I
like,
come off
I'm
as
competing.
white.
I'm competing against so many other for that one black spot. You know what I mean? Like
I know how I get treated. I know how.
Could you say a company wants one black person? Who's competing for that? All the black people are competing for that one black spot in the company.
You think there's only one? A company wants as much diversity as it can get. Dude, I see so many fucking mixed black people and like mixed race people and whatnot.
And where?
In Booz Allen, the company I work for, there are so many.
Yeah, because they had good upcoming, they had good upbringings. Like they were the few who had and there's some who worked their ass off for it, like anyone else.
Okay, so like why couldn't you do the same thing? Trey, we went to the same high school.
Yeah, we were in the same class.
We went to the same college.
Nigga, you weren't going to college like I was going to college. You weren't paying a fucking mortgage. You know what I mean? Like
nigga, NAC is cheap.
NAC was free. No, NAC was free.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I spent money. So you actually had the advantage there.
No, I didn't.
I actually had to spend money.
All right. Well, did you pay your phone bill? Did you have to pay for food?
Yes.
Did you have to pay for electricity? Did you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other things involved. Did you have to waste your time going to work, having 3 jobs?
A ton of people going to NAC and ESU also work. It's like a meme.
Yeah.
It's like the entire generation. It's not just black people. It's like white.
Right. It's like
I'm just saying. It's like a little harder. I'm asking like, did you have to do it? I'm not saying like other people.
No, I'm saying that on average.
I'm just saying. Did you have to do it? Like, did you have to do that? So don't.
Who cares about the individual? We're talking about trends.
So no, but you're saying we go to the same college, like we had the same opportunity. Like you had the opportunity to like sit there and learn, like way more.
I didn't learn shit.
But you had the opportunity to. You had the time to. Like, niggas don't got time like that.
What are you talking about?
It's a little thing called privilege.
Did you graduate now?
You had the privilege.
No,
you had the privilege of not having to do a bunch of extra shit while attending college.
Tons of white and Asian people have to do a lot of extra shit while going to college. It's not just me.
and it's mostly poor people, right? Yeah, and most poor people are either like there's huge. Well, everybody's poor, if you ask. In America, I believe everybody's poor. They don't even know it. But you're thinking of
you're like a damn near fucking single child, like.
$100,000 in America, you're not doing much of anything.
Like you don't have little brothers looking up to you. You don't have you know what I mean? Like.
Did you graduate NAC? It wasn't that bad. Didn't you?
I said I'm 1 credit away.
Okay, well, whatever. Close enough. Like NAC is not a difficult school. ESU is not like a difficult school. It's like very little work required, and tons of people were working while doing it. They're like shitty schools. They're like easy to pass.
Yeah, for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the support character. I might fuck with her.
Which one?
Catalyst? No, Aurora.
I'm playing with this cat chick in the bubble right now. Or like a mix between a cat and a rabbit. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Alright, give me a second. Let me read these skills and we can jump in and practice and shit.
I'm not sure. Shit would not accept escape. I don't like that shit. Nah, I was gonna pick this guy up, then he showed up. And I was like, nah, never.
Here you go, next bros. Do you think Trump won because of racism, read this?
He won because he said a bunch of shit that people could get behind, and he's not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like a million different reasons why he won, but like racism has like nothing at all to do with it. It's zero.
It's just relevance. Like no, you when you say zero, that means nothing.
So you're telling me all those Klan rallies right after he won.
How many people are in the KKK? How many people?
It's not about the people in the KKK.
How many people?
It's about the people who aren't in the KKK who don't think the KKK is a problem, right? If you're not in the KKK and you don't think the KKK is a problem, then you're still part of the problem, right?
Oh, really? How many people do you think support the KKK in America? What percent? Over 1%?
No,
over 1%.
I wouldn't even say over 1.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
it's something that they say where it's like,
but
if you can't, the people who care more.
If you don't think they're a problem, then you're part of the problem.
What percent of America?
You're one of the people. Let's talk about the individual.
What percent of America?
You and everybody you know.
Right,
so you do the math.
0.1% of America.
You do the math. I'm talking about you and everybody you know who don't think the KKK is a problem, right?
How many people do you think?
Because they're a hate
the KKK is a problem,
right?
Everyone hates the KKK.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about numbers. I'm talking about you specifically, right? Because you clearly believe that they're not a problem in America.
When did I say that?
It's you just said it.
It's clear.
You're like,
are
how
you
many
prejudging me? Isn't that what you're arguing against?
I am. I'm not arguing against prejudice.
Wait,
I'm arguing.
didn't you just say? Wait. So you support the KKK? So do you or do you not support the KKK? Is he right by assuming that you don't support the KKK?
No, obviously, no one in America supports.
So why are you arguing
you think they're
that?
a problem in America?
No, because they're like there's no numbers.
There you go.
Whoa.
That's exactly what I said.
They're not a problem.
My prejudgment.
Irrelevant. They're not a problem because they're irrelevant. They have no members.
You think they're
They aren't. They're not irrelevant.
Guy who who doesn't have to deal with
no. They're not irrelevant. I'm just saying the people who care the most about politics are the problem. Like they have the biggest voice because they care the most. So they're gonna do more. Their percentages are gonna speak more volumes on what someone who doesn't care about anything and doesn't have an opinion or anything. Because they're sitting on the fence, not having a problem with anything. They're not saying anything. They're not speaking against it. They're not so these people this whole time is just projecting their hate into the world far more than the people are trying to stop it.
That's because people don't think it's a problem.
It's not. There's no members and no one supports them. They're dead. I can't believe they're completely irrelevant.
To you, because you're white.
No, to everyone because
to you because you're white.
Okay, name one person affected by the KKK. Name one person affected by the KKK in the last year. Name one person.
Their hate, like affected by their hate, like
the hate of what? 10 members? Are you? They're dead, bro.
They're not 10. I understand they're dead, man. Like, but it's not like they don't have a voice. You know what I mean? It's not like that. What they're saying isn't on the news.
Okay. I'll tell you right now. There's more anti-white voices than there are KKK voices.
Of course.
Okay. So should we be arguing against that then instead? Because there's 100 times as many people arguing against white than there are people arguing for the KKK.
Yeah. Look. You can't go one route. You can't be all the way against something. You can't say like, oh. You can't be all about one or the other. Like you can't just sit there and try to argue either side. Like right, you just sound like a lunatic trying to say, "Oh, it's all white people's fault." You sound like a lunatic when you say, "Oh, I think it's all black people's fault."
Do you think ISIS is a problem?
No, because they're also small and irrelevant.
Yeah, to you because you're white and they're not here in America.
Okay.
But so to people over there who are dying, for the people who are dying because of them, it's a big problem. It's a big problem.
How many people are dying because of ISIS?
I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. Don't keep up with it. It's not my problem. I have to worry about black people dying in America.
Oh, yeah.
Racist
so
cops.
Many black people are killed by racism in America. What are the numbers on that, by the way? What? 1 a year? 5 a year? 10 a year?
All right, yeah. I mean, it's fine. I get it. Because you're a white guy and you don't care.
What are the numbers?
I understand.
What are the numbers? How many black people are killed by racism
mixed bros.
this year?
Yeah.
That this is a tier list. How many black people are killed by racism? No one. No, it's not that. It's oppressing them.
Okay, so how are you oppressed? Is there too much affirmative action? Are there too many diversity initiatives? How are you being oppressed?
No, there's too many white guys like you who think there aren't racial problems in America. That's the exact problem.
I'm saying that being black right now in America is probably like the best time to be black in America
than
there ever was.
That's just because being white sucks all the time. Because you guys are boring and your food is trash, right?
Oh, okay.
You don't put salt on your chicken.
Right? You put fucking Greek yogurt in everything, right? Like, let's water this down with some old milk. Hey guys, this is too spicy. Put some old milk in this shit.
Okay. I don't know what you want me. Like, I thought we were having a serious discussion.
No, wait, you guys aren't having a serious discussion because we're not saying much. You guys aren't saying much.
Yeah, this is the thing. You're never going to understand it. You're never going to be able to understand it.
You will understand it. Every race does.
I don't understand I don't understand what happened in the process of my life. I'm mixed, right? But I look white, so I pass a lot of the times, and I have these conversations.
So you can't understand.
But it's like I'm saying, I'm mixed, but I'm not as black, so I pass a lot of the time.
I understand privilege.
No, you can't. You pass as white. You can't understand it.
No, I can't.
You have never been discriminated against for being black. You cannot understand.
You don't think
this is how you sound. This is how you sound, by the way. In case you wanted to feel what.
Wait, what'd you say?
But I have been discriminated against because.
Okay, how?
Because I came from a small town in fucking Alabama, and everyone knew who my dad was because my dad's black and he was a football star. Because that's what they bred black people to do. Once they couldn't plow the field anymore.
Give me an example of how you were discriminated against for having a black family member.
Oh, girls wouldn't date me. They told me specifically because I was half black that they wouldn't entertain the,
Okay, do you think it's bad that people have physical preferences for their dating partner? Do you not have this as well?
Like, let's be real. You're not gonna see anything long term with a girl like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a good thing that she told you that. But like,
yeah, exactly. No, I'm fine with that.
You could say
no, but that's just your argument. Your argument is, people can't have preferences. But I look white, right? They wouldn't have known I was black unless I said it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
What if you had like a short father? It's like, would you think that was like just as bad? It's like, oh yeah, well you have short people.
But we're not planning families at this point. This is middle school and high school. No one's planning families. These are kids with their parents' judgments embedded into their head, moving into the world, right?
So is that your worst example? That someone didn't want to date you because of a physical preference?
He was about to name them all, but you hit it on the head right away. So write it down what he's saying.
Yeah, let's hear like a more egregious.
No, that's just your your argument. Your argument crumbles every time because
I want to hear something. Is that really the worst you've ever?
Okay, no. But the worst. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but I've been in many situations where I've been with my black friends, and I've been I've been treated very differently because of how I look. Right? We're exactly the same age. We're coming out of the exact same store, and we're clearly together, right? Clearly together, but the police they have him with his hands behind his back and they're pushing him into the wall, and I get to stand casually by the police car and talk to the cop while he asks me what's going on, right? What's that about?
Okay,
right?
I have a question. Okay, say that okay, so you know how like men in general are very violent and women aren't? Do you agree with this? Like, do like men make up the majority of the homicides and whatnot, and women never do?
Well,
Do you agree with this?
Yeah, that's the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So different demographics, on average, have different crime rates. Do you agree with this? Like, men versus women have vastly different crime rates.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that, on average, a cop should look more towards men than towards women if they want to like find a possible crime happening? Do you agree with that? Like a better usage of their resources and their attention?
So you're telling me a better usage of the police resources is to hem up a 15-year-old black kid for questioning?
No, I'm saying that stereotyping is just an efficient thing to do.
Yeah, it is very efficient. Yes, it is. I will agree that stereotyping is efficient, but when it comes to a job that's supposed to protect and serve the citizens of the city that they live in,
to a better net good. Okay, the old Asian lady who's like 80 years old, probably
but it doesn't lead to a better net good. It leads to
limited resources and time and attention for police officers.
It leads to a situation that's going to turn into the Palestine fucking Israel border, where you got people cordoned off because that's more efficient than stereotyping. It's just putting all the people in a fucking area where they can't get anywhere else, because that's the best type of stereotyping, right? Is segregating, right? That's the best type. And what do? That's the thing is, all black people want is to be treated like a human, not like a fucking criminal, because not all black people are criminals.
I know,
right?
But I think it's like 60% of homicides are committed by 3% of the population, and that's black men between the ages of like 18 and 26. Like half the homicides in the country are committed by 3% of the population. That's why they're stereotyping.
But they're only using that. Those black numbers. That's black on black crime. Right, that's them.
It doesn't matter. That's why
it does matter. It does matter
because you commit the crime, and
but black people aren't immediately scared of other black people when we know that most of the murders are done by black people, and most of those murders are against black people. So black people should be the most scared in this situation.
Okay, so they're being irrational. So they're being irrational. What's the difference? That's in-group bias. That's in-group bias. That's just...
No, that's because black people know that other black people aren't the fucking thing to fear.
I mean, statistics say otherwise. When 3% of the population commits more than half the homicides
against its own people, yet their own people. But that's the thing. You're justifying the scaredness of the police.
Yes.
Right, based on your numbers, but
yes.
but your numbers should make black people extremely afraid of other black people. But it doesn't.
But white people are scared of black people instead of black people being scared of black people.
I know. I'm saying black people should be more scared of black people because of
they should. But we know what to look for in black people and know when to be scared of black people.
Just like white people know
white
people are up to no good.
Yeah, but we don't know it like that. Like
it's the same fucking thing.
Okay,
but you'll never know.
Is why there's the stereotype. Okay?
I know why there's the stereotype.
Whoa. I don't think. Wait. Because.
But you're not telling me why. You're trying to justify the treatment of black people by white people by using your statistics that were the reason all this. That's the thing. The whole white supremacy thing I was telling you about earlier. That's how all that stuff plays in, because those statistics you were pretty much manufactured.
No, because you cannot manufacture fucking homicide statistics.
You tell me. You tell me. You do this. You go and you kill all your fathers. Kill all the fathers in your community, right? And you tell me in 100 years how many of those kids are committing homicides. Kill all the fathers. Kill all of them in your community. And when that community gets to 100 years, you tell me. Just tell me how many of those white kids are committing homicide. 60% of them, guaranteed.
I mean, that's not what happened traditionally. You could say the same thing with Japanese internment camps. You could say the same thing with Japanese internment camps.
No, it's not, because...
Why not? Because they're worse?
Because the Japanese people that were over here weren't the only Japanese people over here. They had a whole other country of Japanese people. Black people don't have... Africa is not black... Black Americans
or Japanese are not going to go back to their country. They can't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not about the poor Japanese. It's like they're so fucking minuscule numbers. They came over here. It's not the fucking Japanese internment is fucking completely different than fucking slavery that happened over fucking a long fucking period of time, right? Extremely long period of time, and it only ended 400, 500 years ago. It was here for a fucking century.
Wait, why do you think that hundreds of thousands of Japanese being interned like 50 years ago is not a big deal? How does that not affect like a people like that?
I mean, it would affect the people the way that fucking Japanese people should be afraid of white people. I'm not Japanese. That's their issue to deal with, right? But I'm black, so I have these issues I have to deal with. Right? I don't give a shit about any other fucking minorities' struggle in this country at this time, because the black struggle is still going on. And it was going on before the Japanese struggle. It was going on before the Mexican struggle. It was going on before all that shit, and it's still fucking going on because of white guys like you who want to hide behind statistics.
It's because of the black community themselves.
Yeah,
Tell me, why is the black community suffering in every country they're in? Why is there no successful black community?
Because you kill all the fathers and wait. What
about the United Kingdom? What about the United Kingdom, where there's never any slavery?
What are you talking about? What about?
I'm saying that why is it that in every country black people are in, they are never successful, regardless of the political things that happen in that country? For example, in a lot of European countries where black people are not successful and they're highly overrepresented in crime, they were never discriminated against. There was never slavery. There was never Jim Crow laws.
That's because most of the black people in every other country haven't been there for generations.
I'm talking about the people who have been there for generations, who have been.
The people that have been there for generations are successful.
No, they're not. I can give you statistics.
Black people.
No, I'm saying that it's very similar levels.
So you're saying we're genetically inferior? That's what I'm hearing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that different races, on average, have different, there's just like different distributions in skills and whatnot. I don't know.
So you were genetically or physically better, and you can do sports and shit.
No, here's how it works.
Yeah.
Here's how it works.
Black people probably
white people have had shit longer. They've had shit. They've had technology. They've had a lot of shit a lot longer.
When you guys are constantly breaking down our fathers, sending them to jails, you don't think that shit affects like a whole? The shit slows us down. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that slows us down when you're going after and you're looking for crime.
I know.
You know how hard it is to operate in the Jews. You know how hard it is to operate in the world.
No, because Jews were given shit. They were given like their 40 acres and a mule. They were. You can't tell me like Jews were. No.
Okay. I'll give an example.
Like slots of New York. Like what?
Okay, Jews were literally holocausted. Okay, like 6 million of them were killed. Okay, and this was like not even that long ago. And then they were. Well,
that's just okay. I'm not look. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were sent to Palestine.
The reason the Jews have been able to become successful in America is because they haven't had a system of people trying to break up their fucking families and ruin their communities.
They look like you. They look just like you. You're not scared. You're not.
But the thing is, the Jews take care of each other. As where the black community does not take care of each other.
Are in jail. You know what I mean? Like,
because no one knows how in the black community how to take care of other people, because they can barely take care of themselves because they didn't have
their fathers are in jail.
Could you click my link real quick? You don't think there's like ever any discrimination or hate crime or anything?
No, there's
this?
tons of discrimination against fucking Jews. But that's
Okay.
the problem. But the thing is, it's different because, like I said, the Jewish people weren't destroyed by the white people. They still had their community intact.
We literally
had their community, but that's the thing. They had their community intact.
It was much worse than
they
slavery.
take care of each other. They spent money. That's the thing, right? There's not, but just how many fucking Jewish millionaires can you name at that time who had businesses and opened businesses because they had Jewish people coming to America to get away from the Holocaust? I don't have somebody in Africa that can set up a fucking business for me to run, and if I need to get out of America, I don't have that. Nobody black has that. Right? Because even the rich black people aren't giving a shit about every other black people, because that's how America, the capitalist system.
It's like greed. They taught them to be greedy. They weren't going to be rich if they weren't greedy.
The Jewish community has this right, and the black community should like follow that.
No, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's why I said earlier it's a problem within the black community, and you disagree.
Yes, but the problem within the black community was caused by white people, which was systematic of white supremacy.
But you're saying that white people don't
say the same exact thing about Jews. We literally holocausted them and destroyed their people, and then they recovered like instantly.
Well, it wasn't America.
You gave them the tools to recover.
That's the thing. It wasn't even America that did. It wasn't even America that did that. It was European Caucasians.
And then they migrated to America afterwards.
Yes,
because we gave them land. We gave them opportunity.
They came here.
They didn't come here wanting to come here. Yeah, and we gave them setup. We set them up. Like, here's some neighborhoods in New York.
What country do you think wants Jews? This has never happened.
Because you know why? There was a lot of rich Jews over here who had a bunch of money and who could start businesses and say, "Hey, here you go. I'm going to give you a pharmacy. I need you to run this pharmacy."
Do you think that's actually realistic? What you're saying? That a lot of
absolutely.
Hold on. I'm going to rephrase what you're saying. You're saying a bunch of random Jews just gave Jews, like other Jews, just like random money and opportunity when they came over.
No,
like,
not like that. But it was, hey. I'll give you.
We felt bad. We felt bad for what happened.
I'll give you an opportunity. Yeah. I'll give you an opportunity because your name is Lichtenstein and mine's Goldberg. I'm going to give you a chance, right? I'm going to give you a chance because I already own this and I can hire as many Jews as I want because no one's going to bat an eye, right?
So you think just giving them a job? You think nepotism completely carried their people like that? I can't take anything serious.
Have you ever congregated with any Jewish people before? They're a very, very, very tight knit community, right? And they network within themselves.
Okay, so why
and they only spend money. And they only
because they weren't forced over here. They came over here because they were given opportunity. They were given 40 acres in the mule.
Remember that family I was telling you about? The education, right? Think about this.
It doesn't matter.
But that's the thing. The education. The segregation. Look at the fucking education. The differences in levels of education that's given to white kids fucking back when fucking segregation was actually happening. Like black kids, you're telling me, you're sitting here trying to tell me that white people didn't have any kind of fucking head starts. There's nothing going on, nothing fishy here, nothing to see here, guys. Just keep moving. Because you know at a base level that there's vast inequality. Because
yeah, I agree. Okay, hold on. So as it turns out, Asians do better than white people in America. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Because white people have had such a head start, and Asian people were
because Asian people. No, it's not percentage. Okay. Because by and large, the Asian people that come to America with money. How are you going to get to America? You can't just. They didn't have any. They couldn't just hop on a slave boat. Be like, I'm coming to America for free, suckers. You know, they couldn't just hop on a slave boat.
No, a large percentage of these are people who migrate like second and third generation, or like from.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They came over here. They came over here, and they were given jobs with money while black people were still working for free. So they were given jobs with money when black people were still working for free.
Every single immigrant that comes over is just showered in jobs.
Not every immigrant, the Jews
showered in jobs of money.
No, they're not. They're not. Just like the Mexicans, right? The Mexicans.
They're like a safe haven for them.
Perfect example. Mexicans come over. They gladly take the shitty jobs over here
because it's 18-1 back at home. They'll do the 8 an hour turns into 8 times 20, like back at home.
They gladly take a shitty job, right? But black people feel that they're on the same level as white people because black people have been here through the same amount of time. That pretty much all of your current white people that are living today and all of your current black people that are living today are pretty much all American, right? And black people want to be American. Black people want to feel American. But they can't because there's a whole other side of America who hates the fucking fact that black people are even here, and it started back when it was.
Like a negligible percentage.
But no,
I can't even read up on this game. I'm trying to read this game. I'm just reading the same sentences.
But see, scale back. Not today. Go back to when the country was started. Right? All your laws, all your policies, everything for fucking 200 years was made to benefit or put the black man down. Look at all this shit they did. Like, just take a minute and research actual events that happened in black history where they bombed Black Wall Street. White people destroyed
you could say the same thing about like literally any racial group if you go back far enough. Like,
no, I'm talking about
400 years is enough.
No, I'm talking about in this last century.
Okay, similarly, how does that really matter? Like, how does that affect Tre? If anything, like the diversity initiatives and affirmative action give him an advantage.
That doesn't do jack shit for the culture.
Oh, and by the way, here's a graph.
Alright, well, here's some actual events that happened just because white people were angry at black people being successful.
Yeah, and like the reverse has never happened.
But when black people do it, they don't do it on a large. Black people
because responding is not.
They've never
destroyed. So 100 years ago, so this has no effect anymore.
Like no effect anymore. Like that. Those words you use, no effect anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's your problem. You use words like that.
Literally, everyone involved in this has been.
It would be more accepting if you said like no effect anymore, but you say no, it has no effect anymore.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's where you get the passion from us.
Every single person involved in this scenario is long dead. This is negligible at this point.
Wait, what scenario were you looking at?
The thing that Mix Bros linked.
Alright, what did you say about it?
It's negligible because all the people involved are dead.
Here's one, but all the people are involved are dead, but...
Alright, so what are you saying with this? Millennials very supporters of interracial marriage?
1955.
There have been tons of hate crimes against different races. Okay, so you're saying that, like, okay, it's fine that all black people today are unsuccessful because hundreds of years ago one black boy got, like, killed.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
something real.
I've told you everything real. The fact that fucking black men were racially profiled from the beginning of this but from the time that they were freed, they were targeted, they were murdered. When you take a fucking and during this time, the male was the head of the household. And it continues to be the head of the household in many of American.
I know, but like this doesn't matter because I can say the same thing about anti-Semitism.
No, but you weren't. You killed all their fathers. Germans killed all their fathers at once. They regrouped, got new fathers, came together.
Okay, it wasn't that bad.
And they shook it off pretty fucking well.
Yeah.
So.
Don't you think it's kind of weird how, like...
But that's the thing, black fathers are still being targeted.
They're successful.
There are black guys who can't get fucking decent jobs, man, just because they didn't get the right... They couldn't get the right education.
We're not saying a lot of it is not crying wolf. Like, we're not saying that. Like, shit is quite... Like, if you have something to hide behind, you know, we all have fucking excuses, you know what I mean?
There's a reason more black people sell drugs. It's because black people can't get a decent fucking job without having to go through college. And you can't go to college without having a shit ton of money or fucking get lucky with a fucking scholarship to a fucking sport, right? That's the only way poor black people are getting into college. They don't have fucking
there are
families.
So many fucking
and then okay, all right.
And affirmative action.
What about all those fucking bullshit loans that they targeted black people with before the housing crisis?
I mean, everyone's targeted with loans. What do you want?
No, they were specific loans that were targeted specifically to black people. Gave them specific rates, and they were specifically fucking them over, right? Putting them in immediate debt.
Okay, so they had buying a house. They had to take these payday loans.
Buying a house.
They were like coerced into it.
It wasn't a payday loan. It was fucking legitimate banks did this shit. The banks got shut down for this shit. That's why a lot of those banks that shut down, they got shut down because they were doing some fucking racist shit, right? And this happened in the fucking last 20 years.
Okay.
So that's the thing, right? Buying a home is a huge step in fucking anyone's life, right? So here's the thing: black people are buying these homes actually trying to progress in life, but due to some fucking weird shit that they did behind the scenes, their loans percentage shot up out of nowhere, and it was a fucking scam.
Alright, can you give a link for this? And how many people were actually affected by this?
It doesn't matter. It's the fact that black people were targeted, and it happened on a wide scale.
If you say the numbers don't matter, I can say the same thing. Because Jews were also targeted, Irish were also targeted, Asians were also targeted. Yeah. Numbers matter.
I'm honestly, I'm done with this conversation because you're literally never going to get.
No, because you don't get it. Because,
I get that.
No, you don't get it.
You're right. You're right. I'll never understand the privilege that you have to think that these things aren't a problem.
No,
I'll never understand that because I'll never have that privilege.
I love the passion. I love the passion. You guys are awesome.
No, it's like honestly, it's an unfortunate truth, but Asians, whatever country they go to, regardless of their poverty level, they are successful. And blacks in every country, they're unsuccessful.
That's because Asian people have a strong
you can come
family
up with a million different rationalizations.
It's the strong family unit.
It's been white versus Asian this whole time. It's been East versus West this whole time. Like, you guys have your philosophers, Asians have their philosophers.
The Chinese are going to run the world.
There's so many of them.
When we become a one-world government, it will be under Chinese rule.
All right, why is that? Why are Chinese so successful?
Because they have a strong family unit.
They have good morals. They have good ethics.
That's all you can. Do you honestly
not understand how important a family is in the world? Do you not understand at all how important having an intact is? Let me ask you this: is your family intact?
Yep, completely.
Really. Is your family
They're
intact?
Not separated. They're not.
How old? Let me ask you this: how old are you? Are you like 30 something?
No, I'm 25.
25, and do you live with your parents still?
No.
You moved out, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very recently.
That's a big step for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have that privilege, right? Because they didn't have parents they could live with until they were 25, right? A lot of black people are on they're shit out of luck once they hit 18.
My sister moved out at 16. What's your point? A lot of people move out or move in.
Where'd she move out? Where'd she go?
Easton, not too far. She went down.
Did she go and live in the streets?
And I bet her daddy helped her, right?
And did she have to sell drugs and
her dad helped her
to get by?
I don't think you have to sell drugs.
Well, you don't have to, but it sure beats working for $4 an hour back in the 90s, right?
Wait, your sister does coke, right?
Like, that's the thing. You
not like religiously, but
you can't put people in a capitalist society and not expect them to try to take shortcuts. Selling drugs is just a shortcut. I had to say, I've period of time in my life I have to sell drugs just because I couldn't find a fucking job that I was willing to work. I could make the income I wanted, but
isn't education free nowadays? Like, why don't black people just like learn online?
Oh, that's initially. It all goes back to the weakening of the family unit. If the family unit has been destroyed to the point where the values are no longer, getting an education. I mean, here's the thing. There's a big resurgence now within the black community of these things happening. So, in 50 years, this conversation is going to be a whole lot different because there's going to be more black kids that have gone to college. There's going to be things are getting better, but it still affects the people who are fucking trapped. That's why they call us a fucking trap.
All right. I'm pretty sure that Tre's family unit is stronger than like me and my friend Joe.
It's not stronger yet.
No. Like Tre, like okay.
How do you think his family unit is?
Okay, hold on. Like, okay, Tre, you know Joey? Okay, so like Joey's dad.
Where your dad at, Tre?
Go ahead. What do you say?
Yeah, so Joey's dad died. He's fine. I pretty much like never talked to my parents my entire life. I'm fine. Like I'm pretty sure Tre is a lot closer and has like a more intact family unit than me or Joey.
It's not about being close. It's about the things that a father is supposed to teach his children.
My dad didn't teach me anything. I never talked to my father.
Anything, but did he give you the opportunity to learn? Did you have
to?
Did you have to go out? Did you have
to
sell candy at school to buy lunch? Did you have to do that because your dad didn't give you lunch money? Did you have to?
Every school I've ever went to, like all black people get free lunch.
I didn't get free lunch, nigga. The fuck?
You could have, I'm sure. I saw people always getting free lunch.
No, I couldn't. My dad made too much money.
Okay, so I don't. Okay, so what's the problem there?
Because
making a lot of money.
It doesn't matter. Like if my dad wanted, my dad wanted to.
But who cares about the individual, right? We're not talking about the individual, right? Who cares about the individual?
I'm just saying that Tre's family unit is stronger than me and Joey's, and I'm fine. And Tre's like,
okay, and you're gonna have a lot of situations where there's gonna be black families. There's a lot of black families that are stronger than a lot of white families these days.
Yeah, but you're saying that like the chief thing is the family unit. Like the family unit is the only reason for all these differences.
It's a very big contributor because back when you had back when black communities were tight and small and they weren't so spread out right
after
slavery.
Read this article. Is that worth 7 years?
If anything, I'd say that on average, the black family unit is probably stronger than the white family unit. They look a lot closer to me, and they like communicate.
Well, that's because black people actually love each other, as white people are fucking.
You're literally arguing against your main point. You're saying like the main difference and the reason why the different group successes are because of the family unit. And I'm like, okay, black families like seem pretty strong and close and whatnot, and like all the white families I know, like no one.
That's because you're talking about the emotional. You're talking about two different things. I'm talking about living in a capitalist society, i.e. America, right? There's certain things that you got to learn. And if you don't learn those things, you're going to spin your wheels for a long time. And by and large, those things aren't learned or picked up by black people because they've never had the opportunity or seen anything beyond their block, right? Or just their small little town. Right, and because they're not going to have, a lot of them, they have to, aren't going to have the wherewithal to get out and go to a bigger city because they're still humans like everybody else. They're still black people. They're just like, I don't want to move to a big city. I'm scared. They're still humans at the end of the day. There's literally no difference between white and black people other than the circumstances of which they were brought up. Right?
I think that's an extremely naive position. Like, there are, on average, differences between races, and I know it's like unfortunate, but
I'm not talking about physical or anything like that. I'm just talking about as being a human, right? As being a human and wanting to feel and be treated and respected as a human.
I know, but like, what if these different like racial averages cause different like okay, for example, like the 3% committing 50% of violent crime, a lot of them are going to be treated a lot less like a human because they're overrepresented in crime. It's not really something like. I am a force of
nature. But you're overrepresented in oppression, but you seem to, dance around that, right? Like, so you're saying you're just using like vague arguments about, You're
saying that they want to be treated well, and I'm like, okay, well they're extremely overrepresented in violent crime, so it's kind of hard to do that. Like everyone wants to, but it just doesn't. They don't make it easy. I'll tell you that much.
Well, so with white people being extremely overrepresented in like how white collar crimes and like huge amounts of theft and destroying economies, like white people still get a second chance. Nobody goes around thinking all white people are take your money when those are the ones who are actually taking your. Those are the ones who are actually stealing from you.
I mean, whites are overrepresented in white-collar crime because there aren't that many blacks in white-collar crime.
Why aren't there as many blacks in white-collar crime, you think?
I just think that there's like, I mean, here, hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it.
No, why do you think? Why do you?
Yeah, I'm about to link it. Hold on. Let me find it. Hold on.
Floating on. Yo, let's try the our combo out. Succumb to me. Mixed both.
On the glyph.
Well, like, let me know if that's like worth 7 years.
All right, here you go, mixed both. Explain this.
Nice.
I know, but this is my answer to your question. I want you to explain this to me. This shows the income for the individual, like the family income for the individual, and their SAT outcome.
How many black people were at your school when you Or was there
a lot.
There were tons. Yeah, there were tons. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of black, a lot of Asians, a lot of Mexicans, like a lot of everybody. Like
if anything, I think white people might have been a minority.
The North is a little bit better. Actually a way better than the South as far as like.
Have you ever lived anywhere different other than your?
No, he hasn't. No, he doesn't. He hasn't been anywhere. He stays in the room. Like so, all of his information is based off of other people's stats.
I'm pretty sure it's a good idea to base your opinions off statistics.
Yeah, but like you should have your own opinion too. That's what I'm saying.
I base my opinions off of personal experience.
I mean, that's a really bad way to go about life. Okay.
I mean,
so we're not saying just personal experience. Like you include it. You don't have any personal experience other than what you saw in school, which everyone is brainwashed by their own parents, and that's what high school is. And until you get into the real world, and it's like, oh, it's not how things are.
All right. Next, do you look at the graph yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can you explain this to me?
Which graph am I supposed to be looking at again?
Income and class.
SAT scores versus income. Those Asians sure are high.
I know, it's almost like there's differences between races.
No, there's just differences in the way.
Okay, I'm going to summarize this. Look at under 10. Look at under 10 for white. You see 409 and 460 for verbal and math. So this is white families making below $10,000 a year. The absolute poorest white families. Okay, 409, 460. Now look at the absolute richest black family. 407, 442. So this is a black family making over 7 times as much.
That's because the poorest white people have that much more of an advantage over the richest black people.
Okay. So you think whites in poverty have an advantage over rich black people? Are you serious?
Yeah, because rich black people didn't get there. Rich black people didn't get there. Most rich black people didn't get there. Okay, first we got to define what's rich. Right, what are we defining as rich?
Over $70,000 a year in 1995 compared to under $10,000 a year for whites. So whites in poverty versus rich black people.
So you're talking about 1975?
1995. Look at the
95. Hold on, there's something playing, and I can't on which tab it's playing in.
It's probably the game. Sometimes it plays the music when you're tabbed out. Sometimes it does. It doesn't. Well, for me at least.
Are there? I'd like to see a comparison.
I like how verbal's so low because like we don't want to speak your language.
Are there new?
Like we're not.
Are there any updates on this to compare? Now,
the entire Wikipedia page. Look around. This is like a known thing that there's there's tons of pages on this.
I don't even know what my scores are, to be honest. I think the scores aren't the same, right? Nowadays, like these numbers. Okay.
Well, I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's the poorest white family has that much more of an advantage over the richest.
What's the advantage, though?
That is so disrespectful.
No.
If you actually,
but what's the advantage?
You actually, like the level of brainwash you believe that is.
I just want to know what the advantage is.
Like, how can you say a white person in poverty has more advantages than a rich black person? That is absolutely insane to me. I can't believe you're honestly making that statement.
Because a rich black person can get pulled over and get shot by the cops no matter what.
Okay,
a white person in poverty is going to live straight through that.
How often does this happen again? You're acting like white people never get pulled over and shot by the police. There's like just a video.
Yeah, but the ones that do, they usually deserve it.
The level of brainwash you're exhibiting is absolutely insane.
Can we just play this game?
Black people are only pulled over because of racism, and white people, when they're pulled over,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that that's the only reason.
Mix, honestly, broaden your horizon. Look into racial differences. Asians are successful in every country they go to, and blacks are unsuccessful in every country they go to. Okay,
it's because Asians have always valued.
You're gonna say family unit,
education. They've always valued education as a people. Americans have rarely valued education as a people, so when you get to the poorest people, it's going to be an even lesser value, right? Because in America, it's not about education at all. No one cares about education. It's about fucking gaming the system and learning how to fucking do bullshit. And make it in this capitalist society.
So you think
like, these are scores. So these are just your test scores that you guys meet up.
Everyone's taking the
That's
same
the thing,
test.
because white kids are more likely to get the help they need if they're falling behind.
Whites in poverty are more likely than rich white
people. Whites in poverty will get the help they need in school from their white teachers more often than not than the black kids would. Right? Black kids. I don't think I've ever even talked to a teacher before. Well, that's your own personal experience. Why are you putting personal experience into these numbers?
Can we agree that all races who cry wolf? Can we agree that all races who cry wolf, blacks do it the most?
I mean,
can we agree on that?
Do it all the time, yeah.
What do you require what?
Like of all races that cry wolf.
There's not real.
I can't understand the word you're saying. All races that require wolf.
That cry wolf.
Oh, cry wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, rich white people can afford tutoring for their students for their SAT. Like, this is happening to a great extent, right? Like, when you're rich, you can afford SAT tutors and a lot of SAT prep.
But aren't these like average scores, right? Averages.
Yeah, I'm saying on average, like whites in poverty are not going to be able to fucking afford SAT prep. They're not going to be able to study as much for it. They're not going to be able to have private tutors like rich individuals.
They won't need it because they've been given the help throughout their
so you think whites in poverty, you think students in poverty are getting a lot of extra help?
They're getting a lot more help than the black kids in their class.
On what do you base this? Rich blacks are able to have private schools. They're able to have private tutors. They're able to dedicate a lot of time to studying because they do not have any financial obligations. They don't have to work like whites in poverty had to and having to scrape by paycheck to paycheck.
I thought we were looking at under 10,000.
Yeah, under 10,000. Like as low as it gets. Like this is like the lowest, like basically poverty levels.
But that's the thing that's why the white scores are going to be higher.
Why?
For poor people, because their teachers, more of their teachers are white, and more of their teachers are helping.
So how does that matter? If your teacher is teaching you about gravity, what does it matter what race they are?
Because let's say, for instance, you live in an area, there's a real shady undertone, right? Racial undertone.
Then this is all scores you're saying, right? This is throughout all of America.
Yeah, this is the SAT. Yeah.
Which we say they have regional scores.
Hasn't the SAT proven to be racially biased towards white people by putting situations in?
Better.
That's because Asians are just white people. They're so white, they're yellow.
What are you talking about? You're just making things up because you cannot I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. There's two different worlds. You'll never understand the black world. You'll never understand it because you first of all, no one's going to let you understand it, right? No one's going to invite you in because you're one of those dick white guys who doesn't think there's a racial problem. So no one's going to be like, I'm going to open up to this guy and show him how black people really live. They're just going to let you live in your bubble for the rest of your life, and you'll be happy because nothing will ever affect you.
Okay,
because
so
you live in a apparently you live around a lot of different races, so you had the privilege of growing up around a lot of different people. A lot of white people don't have that same privilege. Like a lot of white people don't ever commingle with all these.
Yeah, but none of this is actually responding to any of my argument. Can we please get back to the actual substance? Can you please explain?
But your argument, you want me to explain charts that were made from fucking test scores that were proven to have racial bias, right?
How so? The Mexicans and the Asians are doing fine.
The Mexicans looked like they were right along with the people.
No, okay, Mexicans are higher than whites. Well, kind of up there with them. Not really, but higher than blacks.
Well, anyways, Asians. If they're okay, do you know the language? Okay, so if you know English, the absolute hardest language for you to learn are Asian languages. Asians, verbally, are at a huge disadvantage compared to Black English. Black English is still 95% regular English, whereas Asian languages are completely different, they're on the opposite side of the spectrum.
But Asians also have things like, we'll kill you. I only had 2 children. I was only allowed to have 2 children, so you better be the best. They also have those, that going for them. But black women have kids for the money, for the tax returns, kind of like that.
It just seems really disingenuous for to ascribe all the differences just I don't know.
You'll never know. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah, but your own eyes, like, it's like a very small sample size. It actually means nothing.
It's exactly your same size. I've lived in very different communities. I've moved around a lot. I've seen a lot of people. I've commingled with a lot of different races, and I know, and I actually get on a level with a lot of these races because I'm a genuine person and I genuinely care about other people. Right? I'm not some white guy who just doesn't think problems. If it doesn't affect me, it's not a problem. I'm not one of those guys.
White people are the most altruistic people in the entire world, but okay, continue.
Yeah, that's just because of guilt.
Oh, okay.
That's only because of guilt.
Really?
If it wasn't for guilt, there would be none.
Do you honestly think that?
Alright, it's 15 seconds to turn, don't fuck up.
I'm not sure if you're, like, trolling or not, but do you actually think that?
I mean...
Oh, yo, we can join the Discord team chat.
But I think there's a lot of that.
I don't think I've ever felt any guilt, and I know a lot of the billionaires who are donating their entire lives to trying to improve the world do not feel it either. Like, white guilt is a meme.
I mean, that's the thing. That's because you're one of those white guys who doesn't think problems.
Oh,
just because a problem doesn't affect you, doesn't, you know. That's why you don't have guilt.
No, I'm arguing the exact opposite. White people have done more to improve the world than any other race.
That's just because they've had the opportunity to.
Oh, the opportunity of living in the barren, cold north where nothing grows. What are you talking about?
While everyone else is enjoying a tropical paradise, not needing to build.
Yeah, Africa's a much better country if you want to like build a nation. It has access to tons of like natural resources. It has a really good climate. You don't.
But also has access to a utopian society where people don't need to think as hard or to survive, you know, to get through the winter. Like
yeah, no, it's because Africa is like trivial to live in. You don't have to do anything. Like,
exactly.
Okay, yeah. So that's not really an opportunity. It's like the opposite. Like living in the cold north is like it's like the exact opposite of an opportunity.
I don't know.
Like living in Africa is the opportunity. It's trivial to survive. There's no harsh.
But that's the thing. If they've lived there for as long as they've and they've never needed to go and get those resources, they've been living just fine. It was white people who've needed to come and get those resources. Like the resources are only important to you because you're white and you need the resources to make more money. When you could just live in Africa without money and just be fine because
so why don't you live in Africa then, if it's so much better?
I would fucking love to, but hey, I grew up in abject poverty. It's taken me a while to fucking get everything I need to get together because I don't have a strong family unit that can give me the support I need.
Family unit. If you want to move to Africa, it's like free. All you need is a plane ticket. You don't need any money once you get there.
Well, how much is the plane ticket?
I mean, you're not going to do it because no one does it. No black people move to Africa because the white culture is better.
Yeah, because I've got fucking kids here. And
I mean, if it's
I have to raise them because the world is a capitalist. It's moving more and more towards a full capitalist system.
You don't need any of that shit.
Africa's going to be fucking switched. It's going to be
Africa's
industrialized.
A huge country.
It's already being industrialized by the Chinese.
I know, but I'm saying, like, it's not like it's going to affect you. It's a huge continent. You can just like live in the middle of nowhere. You're fine.
Well, I wasn't raised in it, so I wouldn't know how to survive. So I only know how to survive in a capitalist society.
You could learn how to survive in Africa. It's not that hard.
I really don't want to run from lions and things like that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah, I know. Like, people value comfort, and white culture provides that. Yes, I agree.
Didn't a black guy invent the air conditioner?
A lot of people haven't invented, like, anything. I'm gonna take this like a Wikipedia page for black inventors.
Yeah, black people don't really have a history in this country. It goes to up until you get like about a century worth of information.
Oh, they finally added one. I remember there wasn't one for the longest time.
One for the money, two for the show.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. A lot of these people are mixed race as well. No, but like, yeah, I mean, Africa, you had like thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years to start society, but yeah, it never was.
You know nothing.
Why is that like Rampart way up there? Like, what the fuck is this nigga doing?
He's flanking, I guess.
Flanking as a tank? No damage?
It's too late to run now.
Alright, baited and outsmarted.
Look, that hook is kind of nice.
I didn't know he did all that.
Can I revive you at all?
Nah, I respawn later.
I can take the heat.
Yeah, we need to recommend this to people who play Overwatch. We're like, yeah, this is a lot slower. You might do better.
Like you can hook somebody because they're standing still.
You will be lost in the snow.
I gave up FB.
I have returned.
I'm about to heal you next when I get up
Shit, don't worry about it. I'm already moving.
to the next pack. Don't go too far.
That's right.
Well, I got pretty good range, so.
Alright, well, I mean, I don't have any dash abilities. I can't escape. You know what I mean? Like I have. Whatever. I'll just heal our tank.
Undoubtedly.
This calls for something extra. Nobody pushes me around.
Steady.
Alright, come back after that, cause I'm about to heal this Rampart nigga.
I'm gonna try to get a shot on this sniper.
Alright. Well, he's full health.
Incandescent eruption.
Oh yeah, this is like another thing, how even though Jews are only 0.1% of the world population, they're a majority of the Nobel Prize winners.
They probably had enough money to send a lot of their kids to school.
0.1% of the population.
They had enough money to send their kids to school.
30% of Nobel Prize winners. Do you understand what kind of overrepresentation that is?
And that's why they have those stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying stereotypes exist for a reason.
Oh, I know why they exist.
Alright, well there you go.
But cops shouldn't. Cops should be
Cops shouldn't
held
police
to a higher
areas that are high
standard.
crime, huh?
They should be held to a higher standard.
Do you realize that people like ask for additional policing because these areas are so high crime? And the inevitable happens. High crime areas have shootings.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
And the
dangerous
answer
people
is
committing
more
crime
cops.
in the area.
More cops and less education. That's
Do you realize
always
that
the
people in
answer.
the area are asking for more cops, right?
Call this
Yeah, more cops, less education.
Education. Education's a meme. I don't even think it does anything. I didn't get anything from my college education. It didn't benefit me at all. I feel like it's a complete waste of time. I know a lot of people feel very similarly.
Well, that's because most people go to college for shit that they don't want to go to college.
No, I wanted to go to college for it. I didn't feel like I got anything out of it. I pretty much knew a lot of it already from just reading various things online. I can't even tell the difference between college graduates and high school graduates. Like they don't sound any different.
They're really not. Nobody. That's the thing is.
I know. Like I don't think education really matters.
But
as much as you
having
think it
that
does.
degree gives you that much more.
He can just hop through walls? What?
Not for programming.
Apparently. Well, yeah. Well, programming. No one needs a degree for that. Just learn that on Udemy.
Yeah. So why not just do that? That's what most white people are doing. Why don't
that's
black people just do the same thing?
That's because they believe a lot of the bullshit that they're told. And
Wait, what do you mean? Blacks believe? What, who? Who does? Blacks?
everybody believes shit that they're told.
Okay, how does that respond to my question? Why do white people do online courses and become programmers, but black people don't?
A lot of black people just don't know about it.
Okay, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure people aren't aware of programming existing?
Yeah, I would say that.
They're not
There's a lot
aware
of black people.
of the opportunity that exists within that space.
Creating
Being
money
able
out
to
of thin
teach
air.
yourself.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure most people are aware of programmers. Like they
Not
use cell
to
phones
the-
every day.
not in the level that you understand it.
Like, how do you think I understood these
A lot of
things?
people are.
Google
That's the thing. A lot of people,
I'll make this
especially when they come from abject poverty and fucking no education, don't fucking white people don't think beyond the fucking 10 feet in front of them. So why would you expect black people to? You keep expecting more from black people, and that's the racism that I'm talking about. You're expecting black people to jump through more hoops just to get something when it shouldn't have to be that way.
How is it more hoops? You just Google some computer science shit and get a job.
I mean, that sounds easy enough, right?
You just learned it online. You basically said like black people like cannot figure out that the programming field exists and is in very high demand. Like, what are you talking about? Come on. Everyone recommends computer science nowadays. It's like one of the most common majors.
That's because black people are used to having, hey, there's opportunities, but then they go and they try to get these opportunities, and guess what? The guy who's hiring them is like, I think I'm gonna hire this white guy.
It's the complete opposite in the tech world.
Wait, don't let him get that health pack.
The tech world is so progressive. Everyone wants blacks in their companies. All I'm saying is, considering the fact that Jews are 11,000% overrepresented for Nobel Prize winners, there might be something to the whole. Maybe there's genetic differences. I don't know.
It's not genetic differences. It's fucking community, dude.
11,000 overrepresented. 11,000%.
It's just values and community. And the black people were given their values by white people during a time of high fucking racial bias. And so that's why their values are where they are.
So you honestly think?
Okay, so all right, look.
Are 11,000%?
If the only people that you've ever seen, let's say you as a white guy, the only people that you've ever seen, like, get to a place in their life where they're happy, got money. Let's say the only time you've ever seen that is with, you know, fucking basketball player or football player. Like, black people, you probably.
Wait, why aren't you finishing that guy?
Aren't you being like extremely racist right now? You're basically saying like black people cannot figure out like anything beyond like rapping basketball. Like, aren't you ascribing them?
No, I'm not. But I'm saying that that's no. I'm trying to explain to you how that shit affects people over generations.
Victory.
I mean, I don't really think the generation meme. Like, I don't like have any of the memories or opinions of my grandfather. Like,
you do. You just said is from your fucking grandfather.
Wait, what is? How?
All that bullshit about KKK not being a problem, like all that shit, all your beliefs that you have been passed down through your family. You don't even know it, right?
No, they haven't.
You're like, oh, I'm a fully autonomous being. Yes. I've never. You've got to be on some level of autism.
No. Okay, no.
You're either on a super fucking level of you're super autistic because you've taught yourself everything you know.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't think I apply to the majority of people, but I individually am mostly autonomous because I like never talk to my parents or grandparents.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I'm pretty much self-autonomous as well, and I'm pretty fucking autistic.
Okay. But, so your argument's not looking too strong though.
Why are you guys arguing? Like you guys are like still going.
Because we're literally the same people from different fucking
environments. Yeah, environments.
Like, most people do not enjoy hearing the uncomfortable truth that there are genetic differences between races on average. I'm just trying to explain this to Mix. It probably explains some of his questions that he has.
There are tons of genetic differences, but they don't equate to the fucking brain.
Yeah, they do. I think they do.
Hold on. Okay,
I think so. I don't know how, but
height is a polygenic trait. You realize this, right? Like, there are many genes responsible for height.
Putting the bots to medium.
Yeah.
Okay. There are many genes that correspond to height, and it's normally.
Well, how do you feel about selective breeding then?
And I don't like it just from a logistic standpoint. It's too hard to like take care of. But
if you breed the dumbest and the strongest for generations and generations, it takes a while to weed that out.
Well, I don't think 300 years of selective breeding and slavery did anything. That's too small of a time scale. But okay, well, let me talk about height.
You don't think 300 years is long enough to create an entire generation of dumb, strong Negroes? Okay.
Wait. Are you serious? Do you not have any understanding of evolution? It takes place over like millions of years. Like 300 years is like an insignificant time scale. It can't have like.
But also couple that without being able to learn. For most of that time, they're just getting dumber. But that's the thing. But that's the thing, right? You still see
dumber.
But that's the thing. But it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to weed out because black people, when given the opportunity, tend to do fairly well.
If anything, you can make the exact opposite argument that the only blacks, like there was selective breeding in favor of blacks, selecting like the most fit to pass on their genes. Like if anything, your argument works against you, but it doesn't work at all in either case because it's too short of a timescale. Anyways, getting back to height, it's a polygenic trait. It's highly heritable, and it's normally distributed. Okay, like Asians, for example, are several inches shorter, like 4 or 5 inches shorter than the Dutch on average. Like, do you agree with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Intelligence is very similar to height. They're both highly heritable. They both are polygenic, and they're both normally distributed. I don't see why people can say that there are tons of differences between the races, but everything stops at the neck. Like past the neck, there's no racial differences. Like how can you honestly say that? Like why do you think the brain is different from every other organ in the body?
All right, so what are the differences?
That's what I was trying to show you earlier. The racial achievement gap has been persistent and ongoing in every country since.
See, I don't believe intelligence is I don't think that's a good measure of intelligence because you're basically.
What is a better measure?
I don't know. I don't.
Because people have done a ton of research into these, and they found that the SAT and IQ tests are pretty much like 95% correspond with general intelligence, and that they're the best measure that we have, and that they're almost perfect in that sense. Like, have you done any research into this? Like, tons of scientists have spent like their lives researching these things, and they've come to that conclusion.
My bad, I stopped listening.
All right, fine. Just because I don't care.
Wait, are you in this game with me?
You have it. Black people are dumber than white. So you can.
I mean, it's not like I feel better. Like the only thing I'm jealous of Jewish people because they're like on average a standard deviation above white people. Like they're responsible for like all the discoveries and inventions and like breakthroughs. I feel just as bad, but it doesn't.
That's because you don't have any value. You don't value anything. You don't. What are you doing to try to make the world better? Right. I'm like developing software and whatnot, but like I feel encumbered by the lack of my intelligence pretty often, and like obviously I would have like been much prefer like being born Jewish so that I would be able to take greater advantage of like things that I want to do.
I don't get how Tinker can do all this like law, astrophysics, and programming.
Like 4 fucking degrees because he's fucking Jewish.
That's crazy.
Like it's just the reality of the world, and that's why there's such like a racial achievement gap in like all these countries. Like,
so what do you think would help you? What do you think would help you? What do you think would help you personally bridge the gap between Jewish guys?
I don't think there's much I can do. Like you can't improve your own intelligence. It's just like it's like.
So there's nothing you can do that you couldn't go. Why don't you have 4 degrees? Right?
Because it's much more difficult for me to do so because like I'm encumbered by the lack of my intelligence.
But school, I mean, I know a lot of people who aren't very intelligent that can just do school. I don't think school has much to do with intelligence. It's more about school is just work. School is just work that you have to do to prove that you can do something. Apparently.
Yeah, I know.
But
yeah, I agree. I don't think it was like school doesn't affect your intelligence.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you could have 4 degrees just like the other guy because it has nothing to do with your intelligence.
Well, it has to do with your conscientiousness as well, and I don't really have much of that either.
And why don't you have that?
I mean, it's like another genetic trait. Like most things in life are like genetic. I don't know. I just have a low level of conscientiousness.
They're things that are supposed to be instilled in you as a family, and since you didn't communicate much with your family,
conscientiousness is pretty proven. Like I've looked into this shit. Conscientiousness is very highly heritable. It's like 70% heritable.
But if you're never given,
your mic cut out.
Of course.
If you're never given it, how are you going to take advantage of your potential, right? That's the thing, right? That's how important family is, because you're clearly a very intelligent person, right? Clearly, very intelligent person. And you could probably do a lot more than you could give yourself credit for. Just me knowing on how you think about things, it tells me that you could do a lot more than you probably think you could, because you don't seem to think that you can do that much. Because I don't think
the things that I want to do are too complicated for me to understand.
Like what?
I don't know. Like, don't you ever like read random Wikipedia articles and you like realize that you'll never be on that level? Like just like random math Wikipedia articles, you're like trying to like understand some sort of concept and it's just way too complicated, and you're like, yeah, I will never be able to understand this. It's just at a completely different level.
Well, I mean, if I have the interest in it, I mean, if that's the thing. If you don't have the interest in it,
No, I'm saying even things that I'm interested in. Like, you look at some like math things, and it's like, yeah, I will never be able to understand this.
Oh, I gotta be up against the wall to get the shield. You can't be behind the wall.
That's not gonna buff out. Late luck. You're smiling.
I don't have that sniper.
I suppose.
Hand cannon.
This nigga's fucking us up.
Have you ever heard of von Neumann before?
No.
He's probably one of the most intelligent people I ever lived. His Wikipedia article is very interesting. He had a completely photographic memory, and that like if he like read a book, he would, and you asked him like to start, and you asked him like what was page 157 of that book, and he read the book like 10 years ago, he would just be able to start like saying the sentences that way.
Stimmed up.
And he was able to.
I wouldn't necessarily qualify that as intelligence. That's just memory.
Well, that's one of the things. He could also like divide like 8-digit numbers in his head like instantly. Like you say like what is 1,000 or 1,755,322 divided by like 6,532. Like he would just be able to give you the answer immediately.
Yeah, but most of those people usually have some sort of autistic trick up their sleeve.
Yeah, but this guy was the real deal. He invented the computer that you're using right now. There's like a Wikipedia page for things named after von Neumann. He revolutionized like almost every field that he was a part of. He revolutionized statistics, math, quantum mechanics. He almost invented quantum mechanics, geometry, topology, numerical analysis, game theory, computer science, physics. This guy
Was he
just
Jewish?
You get those.
Yeah.
You get those. I mean, you
He was Jewish?
find those people
Yeah.
every now and again. You know?
No, like the atomic bomb was basically invented by like the same high school of Hungarian Jews. Like there were like 10 Hungarian Jews. They actually have their own Wikipedia page called like they were called the Martians, and they pretty much came to America as immigrants and completely revolutionized the entire world.
Alright, well, my team hates me, so I'm just gonna stand here.
Here's the Wikipedia page for them. Basically, all of the physicists and the mathematicians who were prominent in the last like 50 to 100 years were all Jewish.
You crossed the line for the last time.
Strategy. Slice and dice.
Time to spray and pray.
Death bows before
Unfortunately, intelligence is a thing, and it's very highly heritable, and it's responsible for life outcomes.
No, yeah. I mean, I can agree with that.
Yeah, well, I think that's the majority of the explanation.
Going in, gun.
Like, for example, Tomid. Like, he's come on this Discord a couple times, right? Do you know Tomid? Yeah, like, his parents were, like, extremely poor when they immigrated over, but they were, like, very intelligent, and now they're all, like, rich.
Dog, you gotta come over here with us.
Just what I wanted.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
I had to get that health pack, and then I also put that.
You were standing in that. Yeah, but like.
Dude, I put like 40 damage on that chick.
I put a lot of damage on people too when I'm dead.
Well, I'm alive. And now she's.
But my
still-
team's around me and I'm still dead. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a ninja, dude. I can't. I gotta be slippery. I'm on my way back to get some of these health balls.
Because this nigga dropped 20 of them. He wants you to come back.
I got Gidgy. You know Gidgy's never knew. See, and now we got
Mortality
the.
holds no sway on me.
I mean, we're winning, obviously. I'm just 3-1. You know, they just did a lot to get me.
Ass.
Yeah. Oh shit! Who said that? Fook?
Oh my god! It is.
Fook, you're still playing fucking League of Legends. You're fucking.
It is. I.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to trigger you. My apologies. Damn, she fucked up 2 of you guys. What the fuck? You gotta retreat, homie. I only got 1 heal for you.
Yo, what game is this?
Atlas reactor.
Atlas?
I'm retreating backwards, dog. So where the team might spawn. Actually, there's really nowhere for me to go.
Floating on.
Yeah, take that.
Don't worry, I got you covered.
Oh shit! I didn't even know she was back there.
You're out in the open. Oh, kill Genji. Oh shit.
Time to take names.
I'm going right here. I'm gonna be over there. They're moving towards me. Oh, well, that one guy is. The fuck is this nigga's shield? Jesus fuck, you do a lot of damage. Okay.
I'll give you 1 shot.
Oh shit.
No.
I didn't know she was there, I would've killed her.
The cycle continues.
Incoming. Fire on my target.
Very well.
Still got somebody.
Shit, they're winning, dog. We gotta. Yo, you download the game, Fook?
What?
You download this game yet? What are you waiting on?
Oh my god.
Please, are there
It's not
anything?
my time.
Aren't lasers amazing?
Yeah, that's.
That's what I'm talking about.
5 turns left.
Hey, do you know how to rotate the map at all?
Yeah, Q and S, Q, E,
Oh.
all that.
Very well.
Ooh, you've never seen arrows like mine. Ow, you won't.
4 turns remaining.
See it through.
See that rampart?
Yeah, I'm coming over to Juno.
Oh, I'm not throwing away my shot.
Yeah, we gotta watch out for that hook.
Yeah. You guys got him pressed pretty much. I'm
Turns left.
gonna keep trying to.
You want me to come back and help you out?
No. I'm moving towards you guys.
We are of one mind.
I'm pretty full. Just press them. Especially Lockwood. That in the game, you know what I mean?
Right between the eyes.
Didn't expect this, did you?
Why is he going after Rampart?
You're gonna make it.
Oh, that's the only guy he can hit.
Ow! Oh, that's a strike in my book.
Close one.
There you go.
Slice and dice.
Oh my god. Wait, he knocks everyone back? The fuck?
Victory.
I didn't know he did all that. You want to try hard AI? Medium is a little hard. Yeah, let's do hard AI. Another character. Is anyone lagging?
Nope.
My girl will be here in a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck you, girl. I'll play League with Fook. Oh, no, seriously, fuck you, girl.
I probably will.
Wait, I had the best damage per turn? No, I didn't. Damage 11.6 personal average. Oh, maybe my best is 8. Oh, okay. How do I look at these stats? I don't know. You want to try another one or no?
Yeah, we'll do another.
There's only one support class. I don't know. I'm thinking about buying a support champion. My first person. I just want to see like what level can my supporting be? Hello, Fook. Fook. Wow, what a fucking faggot. Yo, this loading screen is ass though, to be honest.
Try this range, dude. Soldier 76. Reporter for duty.
Alright, I'm knocking up to hard. Might be our first loss. Yeah, I don't have any of those abilities that like let you react before the turn happens. Like I don't got nothing like that. I can only like attack or prep.
Whoever made this was a genius. 3, 2. Homemade cluster bombs. Homemade. Rock.
Hey, just do AI.
AI what?
Just
Oh,
do AI
teammates?
Yeah,
Yeah, this fucking, yeah.
I'm still kind of learning the game.
Yeah.
I'll have to fucking
Start
wait
right
on
away. Yeah. Because I was just wondering how other people acted, you know what I mean? Like, because are they used to playing against this AI? Like, what do they do?
Probably have to actually go.
Your team is ready.
Oh shit, new map. New map, new life, you know what I'm saying?
What you can't see can hurt you.
Payback will be sweet.
The conduit is open.
Dink.
Stand down or suffer. Headshot.
This thing is getting fucked up next to us.
The cycle continues.
I'll just stay here.
Your agony shall be my burden.
I think that guy's a support back there to the left.
You get one murder. It's my treat.
Catch me if you can.
Oh no.
I'm gonna take you down.
Yo, this nigga's getting oh, okay, I was gonna say, this guy's getting
No
fucked.
one lives forever, especially you. You only quicken your demise.
Sniper's almost dead. He's 30.
Is this the same turn?
Yeah.
Damn. I can hit both these niggas. Oh yeah, that guy's healing people back there.
Yeah.
Straight to hell. Are you so lacking in regrets?
Gonna make a mess.
Yeah, I'm targeting that guy too. Yeah, we're all targeting him.
Pretty much the guy that I could target.
I could do that. Whatever it takes. Forced into submission.
I'll forgive you. My blade won't.
I see your paths in strands of time.
Yours will be.
Why is that AI so ass? Oh, never mind. That nigga hit 3 people. Oh shit. That team's OP, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't push me.
These fools will fall before us.
Let me show you how it's done.
Face the flame of my true power!
Shit, don't throw it at me.
Oh, that nigga's here with 3 health? What?
My wars just start.
Oh, I guess it's an invis shit.
The universe is mine to form.
Damn. These niggas are so low.
Electrifying.
I'll try to take this dude out.
I can hit him. Yo, you get next. I'll get this other guy behind us. Get next. Can you get next?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll get Titus. And I'm gonna come right over here.
Of course.
I swear I'm up to no good.
Part of the job.
I give.
Oh, really?
I take away.
That's ass.
You can hide from me, but not from these bullets.
Oh, fuck. That shit killed me.
Hey, he can shoot through shit?
Riddle with fun.
Damn, Titus just won't die.
Time to die.
Undoubtedly.
Flying
Mouse
under
is-
the radar.
Enjoy your cauterization.
The earth torn asunder.
Damn, this nigga's fucking beasting over here.
Bye. You won't be missed.
Oh my gosh. Our team's pretty OP.
Mortality holds no sway on me.
It only hurts until you die.
Not so fast.
That guy's rushing. He's got them all out in the open.
Not even the Reaper can hold me back.
Very well.
Tremble in fear.
Not so safe now, are you?
Even the earth trembles before me.
Yo, this guy's beasting, yo. That Titus cat is pretty good.
Acceleration.
X-ray vision, what does that do?
We are of one mind.
My gratitude.
Yeah, clump him up.
Just where to aim.
Oh damn. Bitch miss. Got it.
Victory.
It's not bad.
You want to try versus some people now?
Yeah. Oh, you.
Trey.
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello? Yo.
Nope. Must be me.
Nah. Test.
Cut out.
Test. Alright, this one's
There you
better.
go.
Why the fuck does it do that? Well, just changing my fucking mic settings? Like, when was I not talking?
You talking about your volume?
No, when's the last time you guys heard me speak? Like,
A while ago, I think.
I'm like sitting there talking to myself. Yo, is Fook here?
What?
Oh my god, fuck. Yo, this game's making my fucking shit lag and making you guys like, I can't hear you. Yo, you getting this game Atlas Reactor, Fook? Like, what's going on?
Yo, I got 11 minutes left
For what?
to download the game, dude.
Oh, okay. Oh, alright, shit.
Yeah.
We're about to play. Yo, we're about to play League anyway, cause this nigga's about to go and fuck his girl. Apparently, his girl's more important than us.
What?
Hey, I was up all night.
Yeah, I would have been, but I was in Penn State for like all day. I gotta stop streaming.